So, and this will sound a little bit like one before, but it's different. To me, it's different anyway. And that is, you're saying don't focus on what you can't do. Right? So, to me, there's a little different twist to that than what we've been talking about. And that is, how would you describe that? Because you made a different point at that in the book. Is there something behind that that adds to what we've been talking about? Or should I just kind of keep talking?
No, I'm thinking about it. Because, you know why I'm thinking about it? Because you're talking, and all of a sudden I'm reading this thing. It's a little different than I am telling you, folks. We have written about this stuff in so many papers, in newspapers, and professional journals, and the book. And she's talking about it, and I'm getting it out of another resource, and it's being said in a different way.
But that's the point. Everybody listening probably needs to hear these things in different ways so that they can pick it up.
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of come at it from different ways, I hope.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm reading. It's one sentence. It
Okay.
says, acknowledge that it may be difficult to recognize your strength and potential when faced with a crisis. And at those times, you may feel powerless and inadequate. I've had that feeling many, many times. And it may feel like, my God, what I do is just considering the overwhelming impact of the crises and the distress that I'm seeing, what I do just doesn't seem to matter very much. That's negative thinking. So what we talked about, and this is what you're talking about, is not to focus on what you can't do. Focus on what you're able to do, and the impact you're able to make, the contribution you're able to make. Focus on that. When you find your thinking going in the other, and when you're facing real distress, it's easy.
So easy.
For that pain and that feeling of helplessness in the face of this, to go. Don't let it take over. That's your emotional
kind of a
pain.
Discipline.
No, you got to bring yourself back to what am I capable of doing right now?
Right.
Under the circumstances, it may be very low expectations because crises are serious situations, but even in that, you can make somewhat of a difference. Now, am I saying you can make one of these gargantuan great differences? No, not always. Just focus on positive incremental steps that will make some difference. I think of people that we've helped that are sick and that are dying and whatever, and we care about them. And I look at it and I go, I know I'm not God. I can't turn this around. I wish I could. But what can I do? Because part of me does feel like I feel so helpless. I can't do anything. But there is, you can comfort the person. You can you can do certain things to make them more comfortable and physically and nurture them and make them feel more secure and loved and cared about. Now, in the big picture, we can't save them. We can't turn it around, but we can make a positive difference.
Right.
That's the kind of thing we're talking about. The expectations are more realistic and rational and positive, loving and caring and giving. And little by little, we begin to make progress in our own healing and our own finding our own pathway through the crisis and the difficulty.
Right.
There always is hope.
So I'm going to check with Steve because you put a finger at me. Do we have time before we close for a summary?
That was the 1 minute for the last question. Now you have 2 minutes
To close.
to close.
All right. So you want a little bit of that to say anything more before I get to my
Well, I want to say
final
that I hope what
closing
we're
thing?
saying today is a whole lot more positive than last week.
Yeah.
Last week was good. I liked it, but I got to say it's too much material and it's too heavy. We don't want to do that to you. We're trying to get you to see things in a more constructive way. Hey, we have our moments too. And I think after our last week, we even talked about it. We had a rough week.
Very rough weekend.
Rough weekend too of taking care of difficult situations. We don't get a break on the weekends. Not really. A little bit, but not much. So that one I felt it came across
It came across kind of heavy. We meant well, and it didn't quite come off the way we hoped.
And that's what can happen too.
All right.
So we want to make sure you get the picture that we're human too, and yet we come out of it. We come through it. And here we are today talking to you and showing you the other side of things, that you can get through things. and you can make a positive impact and a difference.
Okay.
I can tell you, hang in there. This crisis that we're looking at isn't over, and we don't know when it's going to be, but I see a lot of possibilities, positive possibilities. I really do, and I see them happening already.